The alarm blares at 3 a.m., tearing you from a midnight slumber, where you had finally managed to escape the haunting realities of your financial life, if only for a few precious hours. Yet, as your heart races and the darkness of the room begins to unveil your worst fears, you're jolted back to the grim truth. You're still broke at 45. There's a weight in your stomach that feels heavier than your mortgage payments, and your mind races with thoughts that chase away the last vestiges of sleep. The faint sound of your phone vibrating on the nightstand pulls you further into your waking nightmare. One glance at the screen sends a chill down your spine. The notification reads, "Declined." Your credit card, once a lifeline, has become a cold reminder of your financial failures. You throw the sheets back, the fabric grazing your skin like icy fingers as you jump out of bed, heart hammering against your ribs. You can't ignore it any longer. The debt has become a relentless monster that feeds on your dignity and leaves you gasping for air. It's not just the money that haunts you. It's the shame, the gnawing, visceral humiliation that keeps you awake at night. The whispers echo in your mind. Look at you, a grown adult with nothing to show for it. You're a failure. You can almost hear the judgment in the hushed tones of your friends and family, their sideways glances piercing through the silence of your financial solitude. You feel like a ghost at family gatherings, an invisible passenger, where memories of laughter are drowned in the weight of what you cannot provide. Sound familiar? This is the reality for far too many in the 40-plus demographic, stuck in a cycle of despair with no exit sign in sight. Those well-meaning conversations at the office water cooler, the ones that start with, "How's life? How's the retirement fund coming along?" feel like jagged knives, twisting deeper every time your tongue fails to produce a convincing narrative. Because deep down, you know you're not just broke. You feel like a fraud. And that's where most people get it wrong, they say, as if their well-meaning platitudes could somehow mend the fractures in your self-worth. The reality is that their words feel like needles, pressing on the raw skin of your scars. You lie awake, desperately searching for answers to questions that have not even been spoken aloud. How did I get here? When did my dreams slip through my fingers, leaving only fears and regrets behind? There's an emptiness that echoes through your soul, a silence that drowns out the dreams you once had. You recall the plans you made, the vacations untraveled, the home improvements left unfinished, the retirement you can only hope won't come with a side of despair. You scroll through social media and see others living lives that shine like gold, while your reality feels more like rust. Each picture is a jarring reminder that you have put everything on hold, all in pursuit of fleeting security that never seemed to arrive. Feelings of fear compound with anxiety, and as the hours tick by, you can almost hear the clock mocking you, taunting you with the truth. Every tick is a second lost, a potential future slipping further into the abyss. You bury your head in your hands, wondering how many more nights will fall like this upon your life. The ghost of your younger self stands behind you, arms crossed, disappointment etched into his face. "You promised to do better," he whispers, his voice barely audible above the storm raging in your mind. You yearn for relief, for a plan that could pave a new path forward, a hard reset that could restore your lost dignity. But as your body becomes weary, and the world outside begins to awaken, the overlapping chorus of shame and insomnia steals the words from your lips. You wish for someone to rescue you, yet each day you feel less likely to find that hand reaching out. You've carried this burden long enough, yet hope feels like a broken promise you're afraid to articulate. The truth is, this nightmare can shift from horror to healing. We can turn the tide, but first, you must confront the darkness that weighs heavily upon you, a heavy load that doesn't have to be yours to bear. There's a way out, a hard reset that isn't just about finances, but about recovering the lost time, the dignity stolen by years of living on the edge of constant worry. If you identified with this haunting tale, if these words have struck a chord beating in the silence of your struggles, then I invite you to subscribe to a blueprint that holds the promise of financial dignity. Join this community of warriors, ready to reclaim not just their wallets but their lives. The road ahead may be tough, but together we can turn despair into determination. Warren Buffett, a name often whispered with awe in financial circles, embodies a rich tapestry of wisdom woven with humble threads. Often dubbed the Oracle of Omaha, his approach to money isn't about flash or flair, it's about simplicity and patience. Here's a man who transforms complex financial strategies into digestible bites, emphasizing the importance of living below one's means and cultivating the discipline to resist the siren song of debt. But what he said about debt changed everything. In a world where overspending has become normalized, where credit cards are merely extensions of our wallets, Buffett stands tall like a lighthouse amidst a stormy financial sea. He lovingly reminds us that debt serves only one master, and it's not the prosperous future we dream of. Rather, it's a ball and chain, an anchor pulling us deeper into the abyss. His lessons on living with self-restraint and maintaining a keen long-term vision stand in stark contrast to the reality many of us face, groping in the darkness of financial chaos, like moths drawn to the flame of instant gratification. Imagine for a moment your life as a high-stakes chess game. Each move you make has repercussions, and the more impulsive your choices, the more precarious your position becomes. For many of us, each swipe of the card, each reckless purchase is a fatal move. Some might even argue a blunder of monumental proportions. Tell me, how many times have you felt the thrill of a new gadget or the allure of an extravagant night out, only to be met later by the cold, hard truth of a bill that looms like a shadow over your happiness? And that's where most people get it wrong. They fail to see that every dollar spent on fleeting joys can compound into a mountain of regret. Buffett understands this, a truth that is painfully apparent as we sit with our rising debt and dwindling peace of mind. His philosophy encourages us to go against the tide, favoring saving over spending and patience over impulsiveness. It's a delicate art of nurturing your resources rather than bleeding them dry, a lesson that feels almost forgotten in our hyper-consumerist culture. Let's take a closer look at his legendary principle of avoiding unnecessary debt. Buffett insists that no purchase should carry the weight of an obligation that doesn't ignite passion or necessity in your life. What a radical notion that is. Yet, for many sitting at 45 and staring into an uncertain financial chasm, it's a lesson that could turn everything around. Imagine looking at your credit card statement and feeling, not dread, but calm acceptance, the kind that comes when you live comfortably within your means. Picture not winching at every dunning call, but instead dreaming of a future Buffett style, where your worth isn't measured by your purchases but by your savings. This is the mindset we need. No, it's the lifebuoy you need to grasp. As you grapple with societal pressure to keep up with appearances, remember that the trap of social status is insidious. It whispers sweet lies. You need this. Everyone else has it. Just one more purchase won't hurt. But what those voices don't tell you is that they'll lead you to a far darker place, the depths of financial struggle, where dignity swims against a current of unpaid bills and accrued interest. Yet, hope isn't lost. The wisdom Buffett offers shines like a beacon. It dares you to envision a life free from the chains of debt. What if, instead of living paycheck to paycheck, you could stockpile your savings? What if you could erase the haunting specter of financial dread that looms at night, allowing instead for peaceful slumber and bright mornings filled with purpose? But then the unexpected happened, you might say, as you found clarity in the chaos and you allowed Buffett's teachings to lead you out of the financial desert. Imagine yourself in 2026 standing on solid ground, your debts behind you like a storm that has finally passed. This isn't just a dream. It's a promise waiting to be unlocked through discipline. By embracing Buffett's principles, you could replenish not only your bankroll, but your very sense of self-worth. This isn't pie in the sky. This is transformational thinking that can flip your narrative from despair to dignity. But how? How do we take these nuggets of wisdom and apply them to our lives? What steps do we need to take to recover that lost time? The answer begins with a shift in how we view our relationships with money. Picture yourself forging a new bond, one built on trust and understanding rather than manipulation and fear. A hard reset in terms of finances means reclaiming your life from a cycle of debt and shame. It's time to look at your spending habits and ask yourself the burning question: is this true to my values? Reassess your lifestyle choices and dare to say no to what doesn't serve you. Reinvest in your dignity by starting small, perhaps by cutting out that morning coffee run or resisting the urge to scroll mindlessly through marketplaces filled with distractions. You don't have to face this upheaval alone, however. Embracing a community of like-minded individuals could be your strongest ally. So, breathe in the wisdom of Warren Buffett. Let it take root in your heart and mind. You have the power to reclaim your narrative. It starts now. In the midst of the chaos, remember this simple truth. Patience paved his path to wealth, and it can pave yours as well. Embrace the slow and steady, the unglamorous strategy of saving and investing wisely, and you will discover the freedom that breaks the chains of your past mistakes. This is your call to arms. It's time to rise from the ashes of your financial turmoil. It's time to embrace the grandfather saver's teachings. Are you ready to choose dignity over debt, serenity over stress? The first step begins with a single moment of clarity, a commitment to not only dream of a better future, but to build it with your own hands. Welcome to the journey of reclaiming your life, block by block. Let's talk about the brutal truth that so many of us in our 40s refuse to confront. If you're sitting there feeling the weight of your financial burdens pressing down as heavily as the world outside your window, know this: you are not alone in feeling trapped. But that's precisely where the comfort runs dry, because the reality is stark and merciless. The math of debt is unyielding, and it doesn't care about your emotions. What it cares about are those numbers that refuse to lie. Let's break it down. You're in your 40s and likely holding on to a staggering amount of debt. Mortgages, student loans, credit card balances, perhaps even financing on that flashy new car that you convinced yourself was a necessity. But if you've been keeping up at night, tossing and turning while the specter of financial obligation looms larger each night, consider this. Rising debt isn't just a series of unfortunate numbers. It's the compounding weight that hijacks your dignity and forces your dreams into the shadows. The math doesn't just add up to a figure on a spreadsheet. It spirals into a cycle of despair. For instance, the average credit card interest rate hovers around 16% to 20%. This is not just a number. It's blood-sucking venom that drains your hard-earned income. When your minimum payments barely skim the surface, you're caught in a hamster wheel of accumulating interest. And let's be honest, how are you ever supposed to get ahead when every month feels like you're merely treading water? Each transaction might feel like a fleeting joy, yet the wake of those decisions follows you, pulling you further down into a bottomless pit. And that's where most people get it wrong. They confuse living for today with planning for tomorrow. They act like tomorrow will magically fix today's oversights while ignoring the arithmetic of compounding that works against them. Think of it as a shadowy equation of fear, shame, and humiliation that continues to birth more misery with each passing month. You're entangled in a constant struggle, sacrifice after sacrifice, all resulting in that nagging question, when will it ever end? Well, here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. Now let's talk about something that steals your potential even more insidiously: social status. This elusive concept is hard to grasp, but devastatingly real. The moment you step out your front door, you're bombarded by the billboard of societal expectations. The fancy cars, the exquisitely manicured lawns, the abundant vacation photos plastered all over social media tend to create a sticky web of comparison that traps you. The keeping up with the Joneses mentality tempts you into the trap of extravagance. This isn't just about having the latest gadget. It's about fabricating a fairy tale instead of living in your reality. You want to keep up with appearances, but at what cost? And now, let's consider lifestyle creep. The little upgrades that slowly seep into your life without you even noticing. You start with a small indulgence here, a larger one there, until the cumulative impact becomes the proverbial noose around your neck. That once-in-a-while dining out experience tumbles into bi-weekly extravagance, while those supposedly necessary upgrades blend into a mountain of liabilities. Little did you predict that those seemingly innocuous choices would morph into unauthorized invaders, infiltrating your peace of mind and eroding your dignity. They're not just expenditures. They're anchors holding you back from the freedom you desperately crave. So ask yourself, are you chasing a lifestyle that is built on debt? A life that insists on appearances but squeezes the life out of joy? This is the dire situation in which many find themselves at 45, putting forth a front that compels them to overspend, sinking further into the depths of financial chaos. It's a vicious game of poker where the hand dealt is always a losing one. This anxiety respects no borders. Write in the comments which city or country you are watching from. Share your corner of this global struggle, because together, we represent a collective reckoning. United, we can combat these pain points and confront the undeniable truth that too many remain blissfully ignorant of. No one is coming to save you. It's a hard pill to swallow, but true freedom only comes when you learn to be your own hero. Think of it this way: the less you owe, the more you can grow. The first step on the bridge to financial dignity is forging an unwavering commitment to break the chains of debt, social status obsession, and lifestyle creep. The path is about to get rocky, but nothing worth having comes without some struggle. As the clock ticks away, ponder your choices and assess whether they lead you toward ruin or redemption. The power is in your hands to shift the trajectory from decay to dignity. It's about time to wake up and realize that every second counts. Embrace this moment, a moment of clarity where you can either surrender to the status quo or grasp tightly onto the reins of your financial journey. You owe it to yourself to write a rewrite to your story. This is your life. Claim it back. The path to financial dignity isn't forged by mere hope or lofty dreams. It's built on strategic actions, non-negotiable pillars that form the bedrock of your new existence. Welcome to the battlefield of your finances, and here's your battle plan. You must confront the discomfort head-on, for here lies the path out of this daunting maze where lost time and dignity drift just beyond your grasp. This is the moment you take your first steps towards reclaiming your life. The Dignity Fund. The first pillar is what I call the Dignity Fund. This is your sacred reserve, a safety net that not only shields you from financial calamity, but also shields your dignity. And let's be real, if you're still in the throes of self-deprecation due to your financial status, it's time, my friend, to take action. Start by setting aside 10% of each paycheck in a separate account. No ifs, ands, or buts. This isn't for compulsive spending or impulse purchases. This is your just-in-case plan that will empower you against life's unpredictable turns. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I can barely make ends meet. Well, here's the truth. You can't afford not to. Even if it's just a meager amount, prioritize building your dignity fund over anything deemed unnecessary. That new coffee maker? Counterproductive. The next season of your favorite Netflix show? Put it on hold. Start small if you have to, but commit to building this fund. And that's where most people get it wrong, thinking that financial stability will magically appear without initial sacrifice. No, you must sacrifice to regain dignity. Author the No Debt Pact. The next crucial pillar is forming the No Debt Pact. This isn't a suggestion, it's a commandment. Picture this: waking every morning knowing you owe nothing to anyone. It's the kind of freedom that ignites your soul but requires unyielding discipline to achieve. If you haven't already, cut up your credit cards with the same fervor as someone slashing chains that bind you. Stop using them. Just stop. Each swipe is an assurance that you owe. But what about emergencies, you ask? Here's the painful truth. If you can't afford to pay for an emergency situation outright, you have more pressing issues to solve. Sell the car. Yes, I said it. If that vehicle is costing you more in payments, insurance, and maintenance than it's worth, it's time to part ways. Use that money to eliminate your existing debt, starting with the smallest amount first. This will create a snowball effect that gains momentum, lifting you higher towards true financial freedom. The secret that follows is that debt isn't just a number on paper, it's an emotional burden. Each month's payment isn't a weight you should bear, it's a call to arms to fight back. Resolve to no longer be beholden to the whims of a banking institution. Your breath will come easier the moment you shatter these bonds. The compound interest rule. As you edge closer to financial viability, familiarize yourself with the compound interest rule. This pillar teaches you not just to save but to invest wisely. This is where understanding the mechanics of your money becomes vital, like a battle plan that ensures you come out on top. Start small. Consider participating in a retirement fund offered through your employer, even if it's minimal. This will often come with matching contributions. Such an opportunity is virtually free money. So, capitalize on it. And that's where most people get it wrong. They assume investing is for the wealthy. But I assure you, the earlier you begin, the more that money will work for you, rather than against you. Your deposits may feel insubstantial now, insignificantly small compared to your self-perceived failures, yet every dollar counts. Over time, those dollars will grow in ways you couldn't have imagined. Compound interest is your ally, a soldier that works tirelessly, even when you sleep. In addition, consider low-cost, diversified index funds. Let's iron out the fluff here. This isn't for the thrill seeker. It's for the disciplined. The stock market may seem like an enigma, but you can align yourself with its pulse. Build knowledge before you put your hard-earned money at risk. Educate yourself thoroughly, read often, and take risks that are calculated, in line with your natural temperament. Living below your means. Finally, embrace the principle of living below your means. It sounds simple, yet it carries profound implications. You might have grown accustomed to living to your means. It's time to turn that philosophy on its head. Where can you cut back? Scope out the luxury items drowning your budget. Do you really need that fancy gym membership when a simple workout at home could suffice? Or those subscription services piling up like unpaid bills? A reality check is in order. The best remedy is often crafting a budget that breathes life into necessity rather than indulge luxury. Practically, write down all your essential expenses and vow to eliminate one discretionary spending choice from your life each month until you reach a place where your dollars align with your goals. The pressure to conform to societal standards? Release it. Wear it like a second skin, hardened and impenetrable. Fill that gaping hole of dissatisfaction with self-improvement and frugality, not filling it with needless expenditure. Your action steps. Here's your summation action plan. 1. Build your dignity fund. 10% of every paycheck dedicated solely to your safety net. 2. Cut your credit cards. Destroy them. No more debt. Sell unnecessary assets like that car. 3. Learn about compound interest. Invest in low-cost index funds while taking advantage of retirement accounts. 4. Live below your means. Slash one indulgence at a time. Shift your mindset. And remember, the battle plan is only as good as the soldier who implements it. You may fear the losses you face as you enact these changes, but believe me, what you gain when these hard resets become your new reality will far outweigh the initial discomfort. You may feel like a ship lost at sea right now, but trust me, when I say the lighthouse guiding you home is lit, standing tall among the chaos, your strategy is simple, and your resolve must be unwavering. The road ahead is jagged, but it ends with you because you deserve this journey of repair, reclamation, and dignity. Embrace your battle plan and fight. Imagine waking up on a peaceful morning in 2026, where the sunlight filters through your curtains like a soft embrace, and for the first time in years, you don't feel the grip of dread tightening around your chest. No more sleepless nights haunted by the specter of unpaid bills. No more waking in a cold sweat wondering how you'll juggle another month of financial chaos. This could be your reality. If you follow the roadmap laid out before you, you have the power to turn that vision into your everyday life. That's where most people get it wrong, isn't it? They underestimate the importance of emotional resilience in the journey towards financial dignity. As you embark on your reset, it's crucial to comprehend that this path isn't just a series of pragmatic decisions. There's a psychological battle to fortify. The world outside, filled with social pressures and expectations, can be your greatest adversary. Your neighbors, friends, and family may not understand your new commitment to financial wellness, and their envy can rear its ugly head. The comfort you create for yourself might spark resentment in others still trapped in a cycle of excess. But you must prepare yourself for this. A firm mental pivot is your armor against the wave of envy and pressure that will inevitably arise. When you walk past that neighbor, flaunting their latest luxury gadget, don't be swayed by the glimmer of their material possessions. Instead, remind yourself of the power of your chosen restraint. They may look happy in their fleeting highs, but you will be focusing on building a stable future, one that is infused with purpose and dignity. You see, the key here is to learn how to deflect comparisons. You need to hold your ground firmly amidst the whirlwind of societal expectations. That laughter echoing from the barbecue next door, or the shimmering cars in your community, are simply distractions from the truth you're choosing to embrace. You should say to yourself, I am in this for something much greater than instant gratification. I am choosing a lifestyle that will free me from the burdens of debt. Trust me, it's a choice that will redefine your reality far beyond the hollow glitz grasped by others. They won't understand the beauty in your sacrifices right away. That's all right. But then the unexpected happened. You began to see your true worth, not through possessions, but through the resolve to change your future. Your dignity stems not from what you own, but in the peace of mind that comes from living within your means. Understand that part of this change requires a new mindset. a fresh perspective. Build a support network of like-minded individuals who also yearn for more than a life dictated by consumerism. Engage with those who celebrate frugality and cherish wisdom. Seek out forums and communities where the principles of saving and investing are upheld like sacred creeds. Surrounding yourself with kindred souls will validate your journey and bolster your strength when the tides of envy threaten to sweep you back into despair. As you work to fortify yourself against social pressures, take note of how those pressures impact your psyche. Remind yourself, often, of your why. Why did you decide to undertake this journey? Why are you committed to tearing down the walls of financial oppression? Your why will become your foundation, where you build the steps toward 2026. Hold on to it tightly when you feel the weight of scrutiny trying to crush your spirit. And the vision for your future is breathtaking. Picture yourself sitting comfortably around a table with your closest friends and family, knowing you have eliminated the financial weight that once bore down on you. You are laughing freely, not holding back from sharing in experiences because of financial insecurity. Being able to host gatherings without anxiety about who will foot the bill is a liberation you can earn if you follow the principles laid out before you now. In 2026, as you reflect on your journey, will you not feel an immense pride swell within you? You will have weathered the storms of doubt, the suffocating pressures from the outside world, and emerged with your dignity intact. You'll be able to travel, invest in experiences rather than things, and perhaps even lend a helping hand to others stuck in their financial webs. Imagine the joy and respect you'll command, seeing your children, or even just the young souls around you, learning from your sense of purpose instead of following the empty trail of consumerism. Freedom comes from ownership. It comes from relinquishing the chains that debt has wrapped around you. Imagine turning the key in the lock of financial bondage and flinging the door wide open. This isn't mere hypotheticals. This is your blueprint for a transformed life. Will the road be fraught with challenges? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. But here's the kicker. The hardest part is resisting that urge to give in when the going gets tough. You're not alone in this fight. Reach out to your newfound community. Share your struggles and triumphs. Authentic connections help you stand strong when the allure of social status tries to penetrate the walls you've built. In 2026, you will savor the simplicity of living free from the shackles of overspending. Imagine how serene it will feel to wake up and decide what makes you happy, rather than what looks good on paper. You'll have reclaimed your freedom, nurtured your dignity, and wrestled back time that you thought you'd lost forever. Every second saved and wisely spent will blossom into a life filled with purpose, community, and fulfillment. And so, as you march forward into the uncertainty of the future, carry with you the lessons of restraint, the pillars of resilience, and the community of steadfast support. Your mental pivot is not just against envy. It's an unwavering commitment to a better life, not for others, but for you. The future is yours to create, but it starts now, with every choice you make and every ounce of strength you summon. Will you embrace your narrative and let it unfold into a masterpiece of dignity, financial freedom, and ultimately peace? Remember, you are your own hero. Fight for your future. As we draw the curtain on this profound journey together, let's take a moment to reflect on the path we've traversed. For too long, you may have borne the weight of that shame and humiliation, a burdensome cloak that stifles the very essence of your being. It's time to confront the question that echoes through the chambers of your heart. Will you choose to reclaim your dignity or resign yourself to despair? This isn't just rhetoric. It's a call to action. You've now been armed with the tools necessary for a financial metamorphosis, a clear, hard reset that could lead you into a future defined by freedom, purpose, and serenity. Picture yourself standing on the precipice of this life-changing decision. The winds of doubt may howl around you, but remember, the path to recovery begins with the first decisive step you take today. And that's where most people get it wrong. They let the fear of failure paralyze them, convinced they'll never be enough to rise above their circumstances. But I assure you, failure is simply a stepping stone toward greatness. You're not embarking on some ordinary journey. You're choosing to be the hero of your own story, a narrative where you reclaim your life from the clutches of financial strain. In this moment, as you contemplate the transformation ahead, I implore you to cultivate a deep-seated resolve. You have the power to ripple through time and reclaim what was lost, your dignity, your voice, your sovereign self-worth. But this requires commitment, discipline, And perhaps most importantly, accountability. As you prepare to implement the principles of Buffett's teachings into your daily life, let them serve as both a guide and a challenge. It won't be easy. There will be temptations, subtle whispers in your mind telling you to revert to old habits, to succumb to that insatiable urge to keep up with appearances. But hold steady. This is your moment. Moreover, dare to connect with others who walk this challenging road alongside you. Embrace community. That collective momentum will fortify your resolve. It's a communal endeavor, one that thrives on shared experiences and mutual support. You are not alone, and there is tremendous strength in vulnerability and connection. Reclaim that lost time by investing in yourself and your newfound allies. Together, you will champion each other toward newfound clarity and financial dignity. And now, as we conclude, take a moment to breathe. Examine the emotions coursing through you: fear, anticipation, hope, and determination. Allow these feelings to settle deep within your spirit, for they are the fire that will motivate you to stick to the battle plan you've created. In this cocoon of reflection, remind yourself, the journey begins now. You have the tools. You have the community. You have the mentorship of the likes of Warren Buffett, who stands as a testament to the power of patience over impatience, simplicity over complexity. As you ask yourself what path you will take, picture Warren's sage words echoing in your mind. Remember, his success wasn't built in a day, but rather through consistent, deliberate choices that turned the tides in his favor. As they say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The past cannot be changed, nor can the choices that led you to where you stand today. But what lies ahead, that's your domain. It's filled with potential waiting to be unlocked. Let me share with you a quote that encapsulates this moment of commitment and clarity. Warren Buffett once said, "Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." Embrace this wisdom and let it shape your actions moving forward. Make the choice to prioritize your future over transient pleasures. Anchor your decisions in the groundwork of your dignity fund and educate yourself on investments that will pay dividends far beyond their initial value. Every day is an opportunity, a blank canvas waiting for your brush to create the masterpiece of your life. Be diligent, be mindful, and emerge from this darkness stronger than before. As I take my leave, I thank you for your time. Your most precious asset is not merely time in itself, but how you choose to cultivate it. This journey is just beginning, and now you have the power to breathe life into the aspirations that have laid dormant for too long. Take this empowerment into the world, turn despair into determination, and watch as you become the author of your renaissance. Fade to black.